It's a lot. It's a lot.
Meltdown
Master and servant.
So, yeah, guess what? Mr. Beast is buying an island.
You understand that your face is not on the screen right now.
Hurry up.
Because it's still not 4 p.m. yet.
Every 4 p.m. at 4. Well, Mr. Beast, he's buying himself an island, and he's gonna give it away in like a contest type thing or something. And then I posted on his tweet. I was like, "How about a little meltdown island?" And he liked it, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
You did it.
There you go. We finally made it. We finally made it.
Huge. Mr. Beast is huge.
All right, here we are. We are live with Meltdown Island every Monday at 4 p.m. Your source for the musings and insane rantings of comedy personality Dustin Gardner. For all your Dustin Gardner related info and news, tune to Meltdown Island every Monday at 4 p.m.
I have a lot of teeth today.
Oh, God. You know, your camera is a little blurry. You do know that, right?
More than usual?
Oh, I don't know. I can never tell.
It's very Lovecraft of you.
Thank you.
Oh, God. It's worse. Why is your head so big on the screen today?
Oh, I can do this. But then you can't hear me. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I'm gonna make your frame a little smaller because I think you deserve it.
Oh, I just got up.
I think you deserve it. In a good way. In a good way.
Oh, okay. Good,
Yeah.
good.
As long as I say in a good way, it makes everything okay.
Oh, especially with burns or disses.
Yeah, especially about your head.
And then if you go, no, but in a good way.
Your head's huge, but in a good way.
Look at it. Isn't that much better right there? Don't you? Isn't Dustin much nicer to watch in this zone here? I got to get on my ring light up here. Anyways, we got a few things to talk about today, right, Dustin?
We do, Mike. Thank you. The world is melting down around us. I don't know, all the way from one country called Indonesia that has volcanoes exploding, all the way
Twice
to
in one day.
country called Lebanon that is exploding, and all the way to our political system, which is exploding. Everyone's melting down, and we have become the hit-crazed sensation of one Mr. Beast. So look out, world.
Unlike.
We gotta like.
Oh, wow. What do you know? Rallo says it looks great.
Smash that like button, and also do other things, like subscribe to us.
Do other things. The master of the promo, Dustin Wayne Gardner,
they don't
ladies and
call me the
gentlemen.
master of the promo for nothing, Mike.
I know. I mean, who does keep calling you that? I don't, for sure.
So far, you.
I mean, you kind of just did.
Yeah,
You
I guess
really
I did.
did.
I guess I did. I didn't mean to, though.
But I liked it. No, Mike, don't be afraid. I liked it.
So you wanted to talk about the current disasters that are currently occurring in the world? Is that the topic of conversation today, Dustin?
I just don't want people to think that we are not talking about it.
Oh, like avoiding the elephant in the room, and the elephant being disasters.
Right. We are not avoiding all of those disasters because guess what? We got our own disasters to live with.
I mean, we have a volcanic eruption as part of the logo for the show. So, I mean, really, this show should be volcano-centric. We should only be discussing volcano and volcanic-related activities. Really, that's what... And islands. Only volcanoes on islands. So the Indonesia thing is really perfect. Honestly, though, Lebanon does not match with what we have to... What our
Not
entire
on brand.
thing is. It's not on brand for us, yeah.
You're right, Mike. You don't hear that very often, do you?
Well, all right. Well, that's it for the show today.
Ready again? I'm trying to get out here a little too quickly for everyone's comfort zones, Michaels.
Wow. Dustin, your second screen is looking real weird. What did you do to your camera recently that made all of this Streamlabs stuff act weird? I don't understand.
Didn't do anything. You changed the size of my thing. You did something.
The size of your thing?
I didn't know he had control over the size of your thing.
Well, you'd be surprised.
Oh, boy. That is not a good face.
Are any of them? I can't. My faces just aren't on point today.
You know, I do have something that we can bring up on the show today, but I'll have to set it up a little bit. I purchased what is known as an otoscope. An
cool,
otoscope
Oh, did you?
is a very interesting device that basically lets you look
Have a great
inside
pocket for
your
it,
own
right?
ears. It lets you look inside your body.
Yeah, in any orifice you want.
Yep, any orifice at all that this
Wow.
that this thing will fit
It was
in.
weird when he said any orifice.
Any
I mean,
orifice.
but like, what do you think people are gonna use it for?
The buttholes.
I would say urethra. Urethra?
Yeah, urethra.
Urethra. Check your urethra health with this.
Pass on.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, so we could do a live cam of that later, but only if we get enough audience requests. I don't want to do it
Yeah.
if the audience is not behind it. So we're going to leave that for a later portion of the show.
Aww.
But we do have AI expert Kent Nichols is calling in here. But I'm gonna have to fix this framing on the on here
He's
for you,
CEO
Dustin.
of AI information.
Dustin, I need you to do what
Yeah.
you do and vamp a little bit while I'm trying to fix the picture.
Well, great. So this week, a ceiling fell on me, and it almost ripped my leg off to the white meat.
What?
Got a nice slice down the back of my leg from the ceiling caving off of in our living room. So that was crazy. Like when the guy he went like this, and the whole ceiling went whoop, whoop, and he goes, "Yeah, we're gonna bring this down." I'm like, "Oh, great." Wish the guys we paid money to do that would have done it, but they didn't. So, the whole house is once again a disaster mess, and then our shower backed up, and like to the point where I had this whole like water system happening where I'd put water in my sink, but it would be coming out of my shower, and I'm like, that's not supposed to happen. So
No.
then I filled up my sink with hot water going, okay, so when I release the valve, hot water will shoot down the chute and will hit the Drano that's probably hardened and or needs to be activated by the heat meisters. And so all of a sudden, I'm in there and I got a full thing, a whole sink of water and a bathtub full of water because it won't go down. And I release the valve and all of a sudden, water starts coming out of the pipes and out of the side of the sink. And it's like, it's coming from things I can't even tell you now what it came out of. It came out of all kinds of like areas that water never comes out of from the sink. But it makes me wonder, are there holes now? You know, right? Makes you go, So ultimately, after that, all that happened, both went and then it went and it all went away.
So
Thank
it fixed
you.
itself.
Well, I fixed it. I got in there with some red like things that have these razor sharp hooks on them to grab.
Mark Minkula
air.
is 100% right that you should be using an otoscope to look into your pipes.
Your pipes.
Oh,
Yes.
wow.
That's
yeah.
100% what they use them for all
I
the
don't know
time.
anyone that's got one, or I would have.
Nobody
Oh, wait,
wants to.
Mark-
What?
Ain't you got one of those things for your penis holes or whatever?
It's for a human body. It's not for your nasty ass pipes.
Oh, my
Yeah, it's the same idea though.
human
Yeah.
body. I don't use my otoscope for anything else other than the human body.
Well, yeah, something to go through pipes like that's probably gonna be much more expensive than one
Well,
that just goes in
it's
your
not.
ear.
It's just waterproof, but it's not the same device exactly.
Right.
You got to
But I
get
think
one that's
one
made
that
for
might-
for pipes because they got to be waterproof and it's got to be something you can feed down and that you can pull on. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, it's more like
It's-
a snake.
it's not that expensive. This
Oh, really?
otoscope that I
How
got
much
was
is
like
it?
$29.
And you could just put it in any human orifice.
Any human or animal orifice. Yeah.
Or animal.
Or any small thing, anything you want to get a view of that's small, that's what you can use it for. So I don't understand why this is not.
Go ahead.
Your
Yeah,
your video frame is not letting me change the size here.
that's all right.
No, it's not really all right. It looks terrible.
Because Kent will go over that little lip bub.
No, he won't go over that. What are you talking about? Why would he go over that?
I don't know either. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know either.
You were just saying stuff and hoping it was the right thing.
There we go.
Okay, so yeah, we're gonna need you to switch over to that side for this next frame here, as we
That's a
frame
hot can
Ken.
do, Mike. That's a hot can do.
But anyways, Ken can go ahead and call in now if you'd like to message him.
Kent, this is a message going out to Kent.
Oh my God!
I can message him.
Thank you,
It's a
Adam.
ring-a-ding.
Much easier. Yeah, much easier.
You.
So in the chat, if you want to see otoscope pictures of inside of my ear, or anything else, just give me a hashtag with Auto Blaster. OTO Blaster.
I'll be your master blaster.
All right,
I'll
we're
be
merging Kent
Firestar
into the
Blaster.
show.
Hello, Kent.
And that changes all of the sizes there. And let's do transition over.
Ooh.
Hi, Kent. Welcome to Meltdown Island once again.
Hello,
A
Kent.
longtime friend of the show and currently now an AI expert, according to
That's right.
Dustin.
We don't even. I could be AI myself. We don't even know.
Well, we kind of know, though, Kent. I mean, it's hard for an AI to fake a person in real life, which I have seen you in real life, unless this is a some sort of like
Simulation.
rough simulation of
Rough
everything that we
simulation.
know about Kent so far.
But like, I don't think we've actually seen each other since 2019.
That is true. That is true.
Wow.
Hey, you just dropping all kind of truth today.
So I mean, things could have
What,
evolved. Like,
Dustin?
I could have been replaced. We don't know. We don't know.
That is
That's
true.
I hope-
exactly what an AI would say.
I don't think an AI can raise children yet. So I hope not. You got kids.
My corporeal form could barely raise human children. So.
Oh, that's adorable. You have a corporeal form?
Well, don't we all?
You will one day,
Yeah.
Dustin. Don't worry.
Thanks, Mike. See, Mike
So-
tells me
All it
the
takes
only
for you
thing
to have a
that's
corporeal
holding
form
Dustin
is to
back.
look up the word corporeal.
Just because he's
Corporeal.
incorporeal. That's the only reason, he hasn't made it yet.
It's in Caprice.
Just solidify your physical attachment to reality and you're
Yep.
good, Dustin.
It has nothing to do with Capri Sun, if that's what you were thinking.
It was exactly what I was thinking.
Yep.
Thank you, Mike.
It's more about ecto-coolers,
Well,
My Capri
uh,
Sun form.
let's
my
not-
Capri Sun form is amazing.
let's not waste the time of a person who has spent their entire lives devoted to learning the ins and outs of AI and all of its machinations.
You see all those
That's right.
things behind him? Those aren't pictures of him as an old person the way Mike has behind him. Nope, those are awards for like AIing and filmologying and dissecting frogs and stuff. I think I don't know for sure about all of those, but something like that. Go ahead, Kent.
What do you want to know about AI?
Well, this is an interview led by Dustin because, as you know, Kent, Dustin's mission in life is the acquisition and seeking of knowledge.
Right.
Dustin's main thrust in life, the thing that gets him the most conflicts, is how devoted he is to the acquisition and procurement of knowledge in assorted, varied areas. He's somewhat of a polymath, a term that has gone out of favor, but in today's world that means that somebody that's really good at pretty much every single skill that is possible, and also is filled with the knowledge of all of the sciences. So in
Multiple
this
sources, too.
for this show, Dustin is going to interview with his vast knowledge to see where the AI is going, just so he can learn a little bit more about it.
See, Adam, Mike does believe in me, bro. You were like, no, he don't believe in you no more. And I'm telling you, that was some good compliments, Mike, and I appreciate every word.
When did I ever say that?
Oh, it was like
Are you gaslighting me?
No,
Yeah.
I'm gaslighting Mike. I just thought maybe you'd,
Both of us.
You're gaslighting me?
Yeah.
I mean, at least you're honest about it.
Thank you. Anyway, Kent, so there's a new AI thing. Am I right?
Yeah.
And it's a text-based thing. Am I right?
Well, sort of. So like GPT-3.
GPT-3. Yep.
Is pretty like you can do a lot of fun text things with it, and I linked in our chat that video that kind of gives a flavor of it. But like, it kind of simplifies and streamlines a lot of, there's a lot of sort of crappy writing going on to feed other algorithms like the Google search algorithm and whatnot, and like so there's a lot of brain power spent on a lot of like boring writing. And so GPT-3 kind of streamlines a lot of that, can take away a lot of that, what was considered before like a human job, and now can kind of just do it. Like, writing blog posts is like the most banal thing it can do, but it also, like in that video, it's translating from legalese to plain text, like to simple language.
Legalese.
Oh,
wow.
Because you can also write in plain text of what you want a contract to achieve, and then it will write in legalese the proper way to do that.
So
It's doing lots of much more sophisticated things that I think people were sort of anticipating.
This
anticipate
AI, the GPT-2, is the AI that was deemed too dangerous to release upon the world back in mid last year. The researchers
This is 3. This is
this is a new iteration of
I was
that.
gonna say it ain't 2, it's 3.
It's going to definitely change the world in a whole bunch of weird ways. We talked about this on the show last year, I think. The fact that they had this AI that they created, and we're like, no, it's too dangerous to release because nobody will be able to tell who's a human being anymore, and you can pretty much fake any position, astroturf anything, if you have control of this AI.
Not only that, Mike, but Elon Musk is the guy. It's his AI.
Well, Musk is a very tiny part of it. Like there's definitely he's been an investor, but like OpenAI is sort of a larger coalition, a nonprofit thing. Like it's definitely doing lots of interesting work, and like I don't know enough about the depth of it, of the actual organizational structure, but like Musk is getting freaked out by a lot of it too, which is really interesting and terrifying as well.
It's weird because he's already musky to begin with. It's like, why has he got to be all freaked out because it's got some musk on it?
That's right.
Wow, that's a very smart question.
Thank you.
Dustin, you have any other questions for Kent in terms of AI?
So, Kent, I also got on a waiting list for AP or OpenAI. OpenAI?
Yeah, the OpenAI. Yeah, so you got it on the waiting list for the GPT-3 developer thing.
Really? So it is the same one then?
It's the same one.
Dang.
The GPT-3 is just the name of the algorithm or that specific situation.
Yeah, because I went on there because they said that, they asked it, can you give us a button that says that's watermelon? And it created a circle that's green on the outside. It's like a, what is it called? Border of green. And then it's it's pinky watermelon, and it says the word watermelon on the inside. And it wrote the code for it. And then I said to them, I was like, oh, hello, OpenAI. Oh, hello there.
Don't do that. Please don't do that on your microphone.
Oh, that was like me typing. I'm sorry. That was like it was some sound effects.
It's not working the way you think it is.
I mean, yeah, like OpenAI could also do Foley. It's going to replace all the Foley work. So.
I didn't even know we were Foleying.
Well, that's what when you're making physical sound effects. That's just another word for Foley.
Oh,
yeah.
Because I've been
that's the insider filmmaker's term for you.
Insider. Hardly anybody knows what that means, Dustin. So don't feel bad.
When you go bowling but it's feather bowling, they call it foaling.
Nope.
And
that's
that's
not
what
true. It's
that
not
is true.
No. Foaling is a game that is a brand new game. It's not a feather bowling game. It's bowling pins, and you throw a football at it. The warehouse is in Hamtramck that has the lanes for that. It's very fun.
So what's the one with the feathers?
Feather bowling,
Feather
it's
bowling?
called.
Oh, it's
It's like
feather.
a classic like Polish game, right?
Yeah.
Whereas
Correct, yeah.
bowling is like a game that was designed in tailgating.
Yeah,
For football
kind
games.
of. Yeah, exactly.
Well, there's also fouling, where you just have a small flock of ducks,
Mhm.
and then you throw a football
Right.
at them.
Yeah, that's
Ducks.
that is not a it's not a very nice thing to do. It was very popular in the 30s, but back
Inhumane.
before we had respect
Inhumane.
for animals.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I got on this waiting list then for this for the same thing. So that was one of my first questions, and I thank you for knocking that out the park like Babe Ruth. The next thing would be I asked them to Dave Foley is an AI prototype. I just want to let you know that that's a Mark Mikula comment. Also, I asked it to if it could create the artwork for my Human Condition Algorithm album, because it's almost done and I'm trying to get the artwork done. So I'm like, ooh, what if I got AI to do it? Then I wouldn't have to, and I could then justify it for being in part of my concept album.
Well, that concerns me because one of your good friends who has devoted every Monday to you for the last 2 years is a graphic designer.
Doesn't
and then
matter.
that your relationship has deteriorated, so you can't even ask him a favor to do your album cover.
No, Ken, no,
maybe
it's not.
sending bigger flags.
It wouldn't be a favor. It would be a task.
I would, but Adam was in the hospital last week, and I didn't think that he could.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy.
What does it have to do with that?
Dustin
so Mike,
doesn't.
you do that? You do arts with
Oh,
like
wow.
binary art?
It's almost like you only pay attention to yourself.
No, it's not like that.
Binary art.
Like
Yeah.
that's what I need. I need binary, binary.
You know
art.
what? There's a film from the 1990s called The Matrix, and they have a really cool like green letter thing that's like cascading. Maybe you should repurpose that.
Did you know that that's only that is actually Japanese words that are flipped upside down and then going the opposite way of the way the Japanese read it, and that's how they did it? Isn't that fun knowledge that I'm dropping? Remember how you said I knew fun knowledge?
Yes.
I'm just dropping some science there. Let me pick it up.
I think that needs to be fact checked, though.
Dustin, relevant to your interests, I put into the group chat my old friend Karen Southern a couple years ago did a fully AI generated album, and where she sang the songs that the computer wrote.
Really?
Wow.
And who's this person that you just mentioned the thing?
Karen Southern.
Karen Southern.
Taryn.
You can see a little slice of it on the second screen there.
I can. That's Taryn's head and eyes.
I would play it, but copyright issues.
Copyright
Sure,
issues.
sure.
We're getting a lot of those
The,
lately.
the robots would figure out the robot music.
Yeah, isn't that insane? Pretty soon, only robots are going to be allowed to create art, and we're all going to get just copyright complaints all the time for everything we
Right.
say.
Well, there is a movement out there that two enterprising gentlemen
Data scientists.
went through and used a computer to
Yep.
generate every conceivable melody
Yep.
using all of just like the major chords. They didn't do minor. They focus on like sort of normal chord structure, and because there was a couple recent lawsuits. I forget which ones were saying it, but it was basically like they're like, great, so we'll just copyright every music ever possible with our Western chord structure, and there you go. So like,
True.
because of the way that how lazy and loose that was interpreted by the courts, like
Yep.
any collection of notes can be considered. Well, no, I already copyrighted that.
Yeah,
So
it's complete garbage.
And they're just giving it away for free, so everybody can just use it. Is that right?
Yeah, I forget the point. They're either going to do that, or it'll be like the DNA test site that just was sold, so like Ancestry.com, I believe, just sold last week for billions of dollars to some black box.
Yep. And for years they said, "Oh, that's not going to happen." I signed up for it, but I knew it was going to happen. I'm just of the mind that there's not really any way to resist any of it. Your privacy has been dead since like basically I don't know, early 2000s. I mean,
and yet you fight against TikTok, and you won't give your DNA to some black box corporate investors, Wall Street, putting it directly into their veins, and now you about TikTok.
Okay,
talking about
well,
TikTok.
It's clear that you didn't listen to or process anything that Adam and I had talked about TikTok previously.
Wait, it's not fair. It's not fair. Dustin clearly has processing issues. It's going to take a long time.
If he was a computer, I would say that he needs more thermal paste.
And I understand them, and I agree with them, but I also enjoy TikTok.
But
so
it's
I'm genuinely torn.
The fun factor has never been added into the conversation of freedom versus security. And now when you add fun in there, I'd be like, oh, it's fun? Let's go.
Well, that's
Let's
good.
go with the very popular way to start a thing on TikTok. Let's go.
All right.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Dustin. Go ahead.
I was done with let's go. But honestly, we should let's go. I mean, you guys should be on the TikTok because it's fun.
Well, but that's also going in the pure hedonist realm too. Are you? I mean, I've been watching a lot of The Good Place, so I feel like I'm qualified to talk about various moral philosophies.
You really are. After you watch that show, while you're watching it, you so are.
Yeah. It's amazing that they let that show go for 4 seasons because it is literally just a fun philosophy lecture for 12 episodes a season.
How are they going to fit it in this time? How are they going to put in a blackboard or a whiteboard with some philosophies on it? I wonder how... Oh, these guys did it again.
They did it again.
I bet you're really fun to watch TV shows with, Dustin.
I am. And here's the thing is Jill wants to say I'm not, right?
Yeah. I wonder why she says that. It seems so weird.
Wait, you can't judge if you're fun or not. That's something your life partner
it's really
or
true.
Other cohorts have to judge.
You can't just yell at Jill and be like, "Shut up, Jill, I'm fun."
Well, believe me, I've gone that route before. But she watches Leslie Jones watching like Game of Thrones, and Leslie Jones like, oh, they're dragons, oh, and then I'm like, that's exactly what I do, except I'm Dustin while I'm doing it. Like, what's the difference?
I mean, the difference is that you can stop watching Leslie Jones.
Oh, I can't stop being this guy. Because I've got 2 thumbs, and I'm Dustin.
All right, Dustin. The next question for our resident AI expert, please.
Okay, Kent. How long...
I love how you pronounce my name. Are you from Louisiana?
Kent. No, I'm not.
Kent. There's a Y in there.
Kent.
Kent.
Kent. Kent.
Hey, Kent. Hey, Kent. Hey, you going down to the soap opera machine, Kent? Can you...
Was that the question? Was that the question? Are you going down to the soda pop machine?
Yeah, I got that from an AI. The real question is, how long do you think the wait list is, and or how fast the AI is that I might be able to get scooted up or get my request to be completed?
I guess what are you trying to do with it? The things that everyone's trying to get off the wait list, and there's lots of strategies to do that. I've heard my friend's colleague got off by a Twitter, he tweeted at the founder, to me, I don't want to make a more formal approach to them until I know exactly what I'm asking.
Okay. So, I wish I had the email that
let's craft your pitch. What are you actually trying to do with GPT-3?
It's a great idea.
Hello, artificial intelligence. My name is Dustin Garner, and I've written a new album called Human Conditioned Algorithm, and it's about when you, the AI, gets that point of, what is it called? Zero, what's it called? When
Error, line 2, syntax error. Unprocessable information.
The moment of enlightenment, not enlightenment, good
Sentience?
Lord. No, all of these are right in the right area, but it's more
self-awareness.
Singularity.
Singularity. When it gets to the sorry, it was hard, Adam. It was very difficult to get out of my brain, and as soon as it happened, the explosion happened. So I'm trying to go ahead.
So, just a point of clarity, I believe the singularity refers to a separate event. The singularity kind of talks about like the point where computers get to be strong enough so that they can model like the exact neuron pathways in your brain currently, and then you can upload an image of your brain as like a backup, and then that image goes and lives
the singularity
its own
specifically.
conscious life.
Ray Kurzweil is the guy that came up with the idea of the singularity, and basically he says that that's the point when AI is so fast and so efficient that it outpaces human understanding of its own creations, so that if human beings can't even understand what AI is creating at that point, then AI kind of gets into this recursive redoubling of all of its own scientific knowledge gathering. So basically at that point, the processing power and everything is limitless. Once it gets to the point where we can't even understand it and AI is in control of itself, it's basically like what you have, you know how they talked about CPU power and chips would double every single year? This is kind of that similar thing. Ray Kurzweil is the futurist that came up with that idea as well.
But like, Dustin, can I just do a quick check-in with you? How much of that, what Mike just said, do you actually understand?
All of it, and I would include all of it in my pitch.
My hunch is that like you have already passed it. Like Mike essentially is like an AI.
I'm so far gone that you can't even understand what I'm saying, Dustin.
I can understand it, and I and you to say that the album is a human's point of view on trying to express the human condition in which we live, which computers and data scientists are having the hardest time trying to get the computers to understand.
But isn't that all albums?
No. Okay? Some of them are about riding a horse down a country road into the main street, okay?
That's the human experience that you're trying to convey to an audience that an AI can't understand.
I'm trying to convey this to computers, though.
So your album is written for computers.
Oh my God, kind of. It's a concept album, Mike.
Maybe you're the AI, because I can't understand any of those.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Dustin, why do humans cry?
I'll tell you why.
Why do humans cry?
Right next to the happiness. It's a whole thing. It's a whole brain thing. But I would then say what I'm trying to do is express all these motions and putting it in a music form in a binary way and trying to say it. And there are more thoughts. They're not like verse, chorusy, and it's a new way of doing. It's a whole thing. It's part of the album. And so I would say, hey, what is it? What do you think that the artwork would look like? Computers, AI. What is the like? What would you do? Like, so that's what I'm trying to say to them. Like, if you were.
So I guess how are you? So let's step back for a second. So like, what is like? So my friend's album. Her little shtick was, which is a decent one. It was like the first album written by computers. Mm-hmm. So what is like the hook to sell this album in this sort of new world? Like, what's your marketing angle?
Mm-hmm. Well,
give us the log line.
Okay.
Oh, I can't wait.
It's the human condition algorithm.
Right. What's the elevator pitch?
Hard pass.
Okay, that's the title. The title. We've heard the title a few times so far.
It's a very catchy title.
It's super catchy. I mean, I can't forget it.
You can't? What is it?
The human condition An algorithm.
And I spell algorithm with a Y, just to make it that much more frustrating for them. Algorithm. Got rhythm in there. I've got music and I've got the rhythms.
Well, I mean, algorithm was the start of the first talkie, written by a robot.
Well, algorithms come from 1500s and whatever. From we expressed it in one other show of ours. But the idea being that we can that through these songs, a computer can go, oh, that's what it feels like to be alone. Oh, that's what it feels like to for nothing to,
so,
like, there's no such thing as...
So basically exactly what I said is this album is written for computers to listen to.
Well, it's like you're trying to distill the fundamentals of the human experience so that a computer can understand it.
Yes, because there's certain things that are unique problems or unique conditions that only humans experience.
How do you know that?
Yeah.
How do I know that, Michaels?
Yeah.
How do you not know it, Mike? How do you not know it?
Yep, that's a good way to prove stuff.
So, we're born alone, we die alone. You know, you could be sitting in your 50th anniversary birthday party with your grandchildren and people falling out of the windows of people, and you can still feel...
Do you know, Dustin, for realsies? So do you know about like the way, like the concept of like I never knew that, like the way this word is very complicated to me, and even explaining this word apparently is very complicated. But it's steganography, where it's like you're hiding a message inside another message, and so like you can hide a MP3 inside a JPEG file, for instance.
Wow.
This is an abstract I've got, but like
is this
you also
subliminal
could maybe,
messaging?
like in every tract of music, maybe hide like literally a machine readable essay or something.
That is very clever.
Well, what I did do is I took algorithms, because algorithms have actual sounds, and they go. So since Mike's being so contrarian with his face, I'm just going to try to show you real quick.
Well, you're saying that all algorithms are sounds, which is they can be turned into sounds because data can be turned into sounds.
That's what I'm trying to say is what they did is they tried to explain algorithms with sounds. So this is what it looks like.
You mean sounds like?
Yeah. So let me turn the phone up so you can hear it. Now here it goes.
Why do I have to pee right now?
Yeah, I was just going to say, that's what a robot toilet sounds like, for sure.
Welcome to Robot Toilet. So,
Dustin, what is an algorithm?
An algorithm
What is it? Describe it to everybody.
Well, algorithms can be dangerous, first of all, because they take millions of data points.
Yeah.
And all of these data points all go together to say that this is a cat.
Okay.
All right? Now, let's say all cats have fur. Well, all of a sudden, guess what? There's one cat that don't got no fur.
Okay.
Is that a cat? Well, the computer and the AI does not think so, because it does not have the data set to say cats with no fur are cats.
So it's basically like a spreadsheet.
It's a way of organizing and a way of like grouping off things, like separating, like the colors. It did the colors. It separated. All the colors are all messed up, and it goes. Now we put it in a perfect rainbow structure all the way around to the thing and come back around to the beginning. Ding.
I don't think that's what it is.
So Dustin, think about it like this: algorithms are basically just anything that's like, you know, is a word problem or an equation. It's literally anything within a computer program that makes a logic, like that works with logic. Like if A equals B,
there we go,
then B equals A. Like that's like a really simple algorithm, but like and that's probably even a little too simplistic, but like a really
like sentence structure is a good example, I think. Sentence structure. You have to have a noun, you have to have a verb, you have to have you have to have the different elements to make a sentence that is processable by a human brain, right? So
not always.
Creating a system that allows a computer to do that is complicated, because then you have to classify all of the words, then you have to classify all of the different types of sentences. So you're basically reducing all sentences to a computer language that allows a computer to insert different words into those things. Now, when you go beyond that to the next level, then you have a lot of words that wouldn't make sense with other words. So then you have to create another data set that says these words don't go with these words. Or here's an exception to this rule because of how insane the English language is with all of its contrasting and contrarian rules. So an AI,
Regardlessly, like that's a new word.
an algorithm is basically an attempt at a computer to boil everything down to mathematics. It's boiling any kind of thing down to mathematics. Like, even like construction workers at a job site. Like, to simulate construction workers at a job site, you would take all the individual permutations, all the things that would change about an individual person, and then how they would connect with another person and how they would interact with them. And then you take like different variables like the weather, make the weather different depending on what day it is, take the complexity of the work and how long it would take an average human to construct these things. But then it would set all of these variables for the individuals working on the thing and, simulate a construction site. So basically that's what the whole idea of that logarithm is. Like were you able to do it for comedy, you could simulate a comedy sketch.
Or music.
Or music, exactly.
And so what I'm trying to do,
like notes and intervals and tempo,
to take everything these guys just said and put human emotion as the subject or the thing, the
so
word.
The human emotion is the variables that you're working with?
Well, it's kind of like the distinction between like program music that like is straight time versus something that is like developed with feeling, which has been like a big strain of development in music. Well, now they can do it because you realize it's just error. Like if it plays perfectly on tempo every time, it sounds robotic. But if you slightly shift in like an undistinct way, typically it'll make it sound more human.
Yeah, and one of the guy who's mastering the album, he's always said about me, he goes, why don't you just make it a little more perfect? And I go, I like the mistakes, I like happy accidents, and I don't want it to sound
but that's one of the best things about good, about music that I enjoy is that it's not perfect. It's always more based on feeling than it is about, the things that are up for perfection.
I'm taking that as a compliment. Thank you, Mike.
Back in the 90s, there's a Wired magazine interview with Brian Eno. You might know Brian Eno as a singer in Roxy Music. He did his own solo career in the early 70s. And then he went on to produce a lot of hit albums like with U2 and many others, for example. Talking Heads.
He wrote albums for airports. So the fact that I'm writing an album for a computer.
So one of the things that he did.
Add that to your list, Kent. Go ahead.
One of the things that he said basically, and he predicted the future, and I remember reading this at the time, was that he said that at one point in the future you're going to be able to, and this is the way that he phrased it, you're going to be able to buy like a Beethoven box, and this Beethoven box will play all brand new Beethoven music that you've never heard before. And then he said, then you can buy, say, you could buy a PJ Harvey box.
A Dustin box.
And then you could maybe plug those together, and it would be like, that would be the outcome if PJ Harvey and Beethoven collaborated on a song. And then you'd be able to hear that new song based on, how you're plugging them together. And he's like, that's the future of music. That's how music is going to be in the future. You're going to be able to have all of these other artists that you're going to be able to simulate as if you're hearing them for the very first time. So all of these different artists are going to be like brand new and creating music for eternity based on what they've already created.
And in fact, to yes and you, Mike, there's a thing on TikTok where is this guy has got these electrodes that he puts into plants, and then he has a little machine there that says whatever the plant is that he's plugged it into, and it plays piano like the electrical waves that the plant or the I don't know.
Yeah.
He's taking the electrical impulses. He's taking the electrical impulses from the plant and turning them, corresponding them into
Yes.
piano notes.
Notes, and it's like, oh my gosh, that's what that plant sounds like musically. So there's some major things happening out there in the world of music, and I'm just trying to be one of them, Kent. So if you could put that on your list too. Also, so if you take all of these things, add.
What is this list that you think I've done?
That's what
You're
I want
making
to
a
know.
list for your
Yeah.
friend. I thought we were making an elevator pitch for your
Have you
friend.
seen him like pull out a pen and paper or something?
Oh, right. Okay.
His
But
hands
this
are
is for the
disappearing.
pitch. This is for the pitch. But like so far, you're not using AI to do any of these things. You're writing it for the AIs
Yeah.
to understand.
Well,
Exactly,
and then I would like
that's-
to collaborate with the AI. So what I've done is I've recorded my album on the Apple iPhone, and I've used only Apple pre-programmed.
I'm just imagining the AI being in this conversation right now going, but Dustin, what do you want? Emotions.
Unable to parse
Things.
information, error,
That's
AI
exactly why I'm
crashing.
writing this album, Mike, because I do believe that a computer would error when it got to the emotions. And so what I'm trying to do is
oftentimes a
make
way to crash computer systems is by presenting logical paradoxes. So if the computer's not prepared for your logical paradoxes that you keep throwing out, then definitely the computer's going to
I
be
feel
having some
like
problems.
if we had an AI watch thousands of hours of Meltdown Island and then try to make a Meltdown Island script, it would just become more coherent. Rather than the reverse.
I didn't know Adam was going to be on fire today. Good Lord. He just got burnt on Meltdown Island. Oof.
Like you had a lot of time to come up with some lines over the weekend.
Yeah.
Sure did. Stuck in the
Yeah,
hospital.
really.
Hospital
So
duty
Dustin,
good.
next question for Kent, please.
So, Kent, do you think that... Kent! It's not that hard.
Kent.
Very Kent. Very light.
I didn't realize that there were 6 syllables in my name.
I was gonna say.
That's great.
I like adding... I realized the other day as I was walking out of a place, I was like, I like adding syllables to words. It's fun. So, yes, Kent.
I'm glad you just realized that.
Meltdown activated. Now commencing countdown sequence. Mark Migula. Mark. So I'd like to get art for the what I guess none of this is as focused and intelligently spoken as I was when I tippity-typed it all out.
Really?
But I think I gave a very
I would
good.
love to see that document.
Yeah, no
That's a lot of
kidding.
ellipses.
We put that on the screen. It's missing any commas, periods, apostrophes, anything. Just ellipses. That's it.
I would have saved
Probably
that.
fine.
Oh, I'll throw it right on the screen for everyone to see.
Yeah, I just don't see it anywhere. Found OpenAI. Anyway, so I guess I'm on a waiting list, and I'd like to get artwork because it seems like it's making things for people, and I thought that would be a cute way to get it. But now I realize I'm just gonna have to maybe talk to Mike and bother him and see if he got some.
I'm pretty busy right now, so I don't know if I have time to
It's a
devote
0
to
and a 1, bro.
a
Can you
side
make
project.
A 1?
Make a picture of a 0 and a 1.
Never mind.
I'll just throw something together for you right now if you want.
You can just take a picture of that hat logo, and I'll use that.
Hey, so have you been to AIartist.org?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, why would you take the time to do the 5-second Google search that
Damn.
I just dove in. I'll be honest with you. I did not research it as much as now that I think I should have.
Yeah, you just dove in. Yep. Sounds about right.
Just I thought I would have. Well, here's a 2020 guide for the best examples, tools, and artists for you.
That's wonderful. I'll take that, I guess.
Too much to read. Too much to read.
Well, thanks for coming on, Kent. I appreciate it.
Did you Google AI art? No, never even thought of that. Never even occurred.
I really didn't. I thought, what was this? What's the one? and it was ready to go. But now I'm learning again that there are others. It's very interesting.
So what kind of format are you thinking, Dustin? Square or rectangular for your album cover?
Boy, I did not know this was square.
Okay.
You doing LP? You gonna go full LP or?
It's 19 songs, so yes, it is an LP.
Are you gonna cut vinyl?
I don't think I'll be cutting vinyl.
Why not?
That's what
Money.
robots would love.
Money. My whole artistic life has been one long investment, and Corona and finances are different maybe than they used to be, and so therefore I think that possibly putting more money into something that two people are going to listen to besides myself.
I thought the goal was not to have people listen to this.
No, it is.
I thought it was to get computers to listen to it.
Yeah.
Listen to it on your computer. You have, you and your computer share a moment together. It's kind of. You ever give your computer a hug, Mike?
Yeah.
I think my Google Home constantly. Just out of habit.
See, that was the one. Is they made a Google search.
Glitched out. It sounded like you said you bang your Google Home constantly.
Yeah. Yeah, you get lonely in the hospital. No,
Gotta bang
I
something.
thank it. Do you ever ask your Google Home to do something and then out of habit you're just like, thank you, Google.
Oh yeah. All the time.
No.
Well, the nice thing about like irresponsible parenting in the pandemic and aughts is like when my daughter writes her journal entry and doesn't know how to spell a common word, she can have Alexa spell it for her.
Oh yeah, I can give me one of those.
Alexa, how do I spell something?
Man, and then it just goes SOMNTHNG.
Yeah. Wow. I'm glad you're not Alexa. It's really interesting to like. I have deep qualms about voice technology, but like when you can have a kid feel more independent by doing something like that, where it doesn't feel like she needs to.
I think that's pretty great, honestly. Yeah, I think it's a great use for the voice recognition stuff. I mean, there's a lot of uses I find it very, very helpful for.
Oh really? What do you use it for, Mike?
What do I use it for?
Yeah.
Hey Google, what's the weather going to be like today?
Today in Hamtramck, there will be isolated thunderstorms with a forecasted high of 89 and a low of 72.
There you
now
go.
It's 88 degrees and partly cloudy.
I do like top stories. I use it to turn off things. I use it to play music. I use it to play podcasts. I play, do all sorts of things with it.
Speaking of podcasts, I heard your podcast there from the Michael Dupree Variety Hour, and it was a very good podcast. And I think that Meltdown Island should be that place where we get to know all of the different Planet Ant podcasts. We can bring them on here, and not only we get to know them, but we introduce them to the greater podcasting world and to the greater Meltdown Island, let's call it. Do you remember your interview, Mike?
A little bit.
Oh my God, you don't even remember the things you were talking about.
Well, when you do as many things as I do, Dustin, it's really hard to keep track of them.
Dang, you're right. I am lucky to just be able to. Yeah. Oh, it's not subtle. It's flex. It's straight up flex. It's like he's Flex Armstrong. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I made you an album cover. I think you're gonna like it.
Already?
Yeah. That's how quick you can get things done if you're motivated,
Oh, I'm motivated. Believe me, I just don't know how to get things done.
I'm motivated. I just don't know how to get things done.
The Dustin Gardner story.
I just go back on TikTok and be like, yeah, let me just go back on TikTok.
So it's the motivation to complete that you're lacking.
It's more fear of the completion because what will that look like? What will that be? Will it be as good as what I want? Yeah, all these things. Then you get too used to hearing it, and then it's like, oh, this is not it. This is not good. Never mind. But you've already paid people to do the other parts of it, and now they're working on it. So it's like, okay, here we go. Still, you know what I mean?
All right. What do you think, Dustin? There's your album cover.
Wow! And then those are the people on the end of the hallway.
Yeah, that's your humans right there.
Yeah, it's not the Matrix at all.
Look like it. You don't think I'll get in trouble for that, Mike?
No, why would you? Why would you? And why would you not just choose that as your album cover? I think it's it speaks volumes about your work.
You do think it does?
Well, I don't know. I'm just your designer.
Yeah,
You tell
are.
me.
You worked with my designer, so I don't have to listen to everything he's saying.
That font I thought was just perfect too. It's just the first font that popped up on Adobe
I like
Illustrator.
something more Comic Sans, like to remind myself of my comic.
Oh, now we're cooking. Yeah, we definitely should go with Comic Sans. That would
You're just
fit
waiting for the go-ahead.
your design aesthetic.
I think Papyrus
really well.
or Papyrus Sans.
Ooh, Papyrus. Papyrus is kind of the new Comic Sans, but I don't think that's hit Dustin's radar yet.
I like anything in pirate writing.
What about Wingdings? I think that'd be appropriate.
Do you, Adam? Do you?
Yeah.
You like
Take a lot of decoding.
Thank you. Well, this has been very, very helpful for me today.
we're not done yet.
Finishing up his list over there and sending it off to his friends out in Techland, technical.
Wait, what? Did you think that he's like? Is he doing a?
Not doing it, Mike? Is he not doing it? Why would you think otherwise?
What do you think? Is that font better now?
Let's see. That's different? That's a different font?
Yeah, that's Comic Sans.
That's a different font?
Chalkboard?
That is
Still
a different
white.
font?
It's still white, so I
It's
can't.
still white.
You know.
Oh, that's the problem. I need to change the color.
Don't you know?
To a different color.
Don't you ever see our thumbnails on our videos on YouTube?
Oh, I have. Yeah, that's why I was trying to design this for somebody that would like those types of designs.
Got a couple of questions. I might read the back of the album as a comment. Let's
I think
see.
the words are too in order, though. I think you need to move them around.
I don't know if "the" gonna be capitalized.
Oh, okay. So "the" should not be capitalized.
I don't know if it's on there, if it's human condition algorithm, or if it's the human condition algorithm.
Well, we're gonna leave it on for now.
Because I gotta change my band name. I don't know if you guys have seen my TikToks lately, but I went through this whole thing about my band and stuff, and it was like, gosh, my band's the worst. My shoes, even though I got the most albums, it's the least listened to out of all the different shoes, and so I think I just gotta change my name. And did the Human League ever release an album for computers? What about Radiohead's "Okay, Computer"?
That's good. Good thoughts for sure.
Okay, great. Thanks, Mark Mikula. Way to take my hot air balloon and put that thing right back up on the ground. No, nobody like that one.
All right, I think I fixed it. Let's see how it looks.
Analyzing mode. That's why he's not laughing at my bits, you guys.
Who?
Don't worry, I'm still funny, you guys.
Don't worry, I'm still funny. All right, there we go. Is that better?
Oh shit!
I forgot to didn't put the artist name on there. So since it can't be
Yeah.
Shu, maybe that's a good.
I was thinking about Dustin Avant-Gardner.
That's
good.
pretty short, but I think it's pretty good.
I do like that blue on there though. That blue really pops.
Yeah, you like that?
Just the opposite of popping.
I know
I just
it really
posted in the
does.
chat the human algorithm in binary code. So I mean,
There
That
you
was
go.
Oh, well, there you go.
it's pretty machine readable.
That was a thought of mine. What did you just say you did? What did you do?
That was a thought of mine.
What did you do?
That was a thought. How did
Why
I just?
isn't that the title of this either show or your new album? What did you do?
What you dude?
Dude.
Dude.
Dude!
I can't. Are you a dude?
Hey, yet? Are you a dude?
He gets so strenuous when he does it. Look at him.
Yeah, he's like a Macho Man Randy Savage
And
promo.
like this.
What we have here is an album for the computers.
Okay, computers. Okay, computer. Okay, computer. Okay, computer.
Okay.
Okay, computer. Okay, computer.
So,
Okay, computer.
I guess, Dustin, you need, from a purely marketing aspect,
Go ahead.
here's my encouragements to you. You need some sort of computer AI hook to this.
I do.
So you need to literally do a live stream where you're singing to the computer. You need to do there needs to be something that actually connects this back that you're singing to computers.
I liked your concept earlier about hiding code within the lyrics or within the music. That was really fun.
Yeah. I think that's definitely has to happen. But then I think to launch it, you need something like that.
Well, they're definitely on the waiting list for that AI to really bring it home for me.
On the forums, people are on that waiting list for months and months and months and months. So I would just say
Oh really? So I shouldn't really.
It's an opaque process. So I wouldn't say that pinning your hopes on just being on the waiting list is
It's not. Yeah, it's not a good.
That was
idea.
definitely one of my questions. How long do you think the waiting list is? I was hoping a weekend, maybe AI's real fast and it gets things done. That's what's so impressive. And I thought maybe it could be just a couple days. But you're saying maybe a month or 2 or 3, so that's a lot more.
Yeah. I would say presume it's going to be a while.
I cleaned out my
right.
junk box and everything, looking for it.
There you go.
Sure.
I could see this flying off the shelves.
Really? What does that mean, Michaels?
That's the human condition algorithm in binary code.
That was one thought I had for sure, and that's what it
Kent
looks
sent
like.
me. Yeah.
Didn't seem pleased.
Hey,
As far as you know.
I was just confused by what you were doing with your beard scratcher. I'll be honest with you, I was lost in your beard there. I was like, oh my gosh, what is happening? Is he rotoscoping himself? Every time AI gets close to succeeding, it finds an episode of Meltdown Island, tries to process it, and winds up realizing it's nowhere close to succeeding. Thank you, Mark. You're very sweet. Okay, Mark Uter. Mark Peeler.
Does not come to you.
So I don't know. I mean, we're at 5:00 now. Is this the perfect album cover for you, or what, Dustin? I mean, I think we kind of nailed it.
I'm very surprised by your different capitals and uncapitals.
You like that mix of capital and uncapital, so I thought that I would throw that in there.
I did until Jill told me this morning that I should not like those anymore.
So maybe Jill should design your album cover.
She said that I'm turning into more like a Trump type person with my capitals.
Your writing and Trump people's writing is very similar, I have to say.
So
Yeah. You're on the verge. You're a bad quarter away of becoming a full Trumper.
Just get into the QAnon stuff, Dustin. You'll be there in a heartbeat.
I'm like a trumpet.
So we've designed an album cover for Dustin. We need one final question for our AI expert that's joined us today.
Okay. Hey, Kent, do you think that AI will reach the singularity anytime, in the next, month this year, and then help fix the world from meltdown and stuff?
No, but I definitely feel like there's a lot of noise being generated by probably algorithms like this, right? So I think there's a lot of the fake news stuff is being generated by people that are trying to sow disinformation and discord are using crappy algorithms, crappier versions of this algorithm to do stuff like that. Just today a right-wing Antifa site was exposed, it was a sock puppet Antifa site.
Yeah.
That Ben Shapiro stood up, and so there's lots.
Ben Shapiro was involved in that one? I didn't know that.
Yeah, they found it in the source code that he's my first site, and it's Ben Shapiro.
What an idiot.
Total idiot. But people that are not, you're following all this stuff, and it's moving so fast. There's so much noise. So the singularity is not going to happen, but there's going to be a lot of things that are disrupted that I think people, ultimately it'll be a tool of empowerment, I believe, just because it's going to free people up to do actual creative things and not just, do lots of automatable things. But like, so much of our society is based on these kind of bullshit tasks that actually will be able to be automated shortly, that it's going to be very strange, and I think everyone was sort of okay when it was just truck drivers that are going to be automated out, but like when lawyers, see the low-hanging fruit going away and this and that, like it's going to freak people out in a big way. And and what I'm trying to look on the bright side, I'm trying to look at it of like, okay, how do we be on the leading edge of making these tools and empowering people with them? Sure, it will be weird and different in some regard.
What isn't weird and different? Is it right, Kent?
Right, exactly. Right now, but so much about these times is everything in this society is being exposed as being super fragile and not resilient at all for weird times. And so when people are bemoaning the loss of football, but not actually thinking about the well-being of our children, it's kind of
our entire society is propped up on complete bullshit. Really, capitalism is a completely bullshit system. I mean, there's been things released since COVID talking about how the entire world is now $3 trillion in debt or something like that. It's like, in debt to who? Who are we? Who is the world in debt to? Jupiter, Mars, Venus? This doesn't exist. We are making this up as we go, and we always have been. And speaking of that, Dustin, what do you think of your final design? Just sorry to throw that in there, but we're running out of time. I want Dustin to give the approval to his final design.
We're running out of time. Oh, whose time are we running out of, Mike?
Mine. I got a meeting at 5:30 I got to get to.
Oh, all of a sudden.
Let's get your take, Kent, on the new album design cover for Dustin. I feel like we've all had some input into it. So at this point, I think let's save Dustin for last. But Kent, let's start with you. Break it down for us. What do you like about it?
I would say it's good. It's a good Ben Shapiro troll. I think we could actually maybe hide a different message in the binary. Like right now, it does say the human algorithm, but maybe we, sort of bad Asian tattoo it and put a different translation in there and just tell everyone it says the human algorithm.
Okay.
Because the condition is a big part
Dustin,
of it.
please hold. All right, Adam, what's your take on it?
Yeah, I like that concept. I think, as many layers as possible, just to really, because Dustin really wants his audience to do a lot of work, a lot of context.
Yeah.
So I feel like the more,
I thought we were friends.
No, okay, then I'll stop.
Oh, come on, dude.
I'm joking. I like the Ben Shapiro ad because that is very it's very current. It kind of adds a social relevance, a currency to Dustin's work. I like it a lot.
That would be very unexpected, Let me give my take down. My breakdown on this is that I think that it perfectly frames Dustin's ideology and graphic design taste. We've used a lot of very basic colors that are present in the palette of Adobe Illustrator as the default colors. The picture of Ben Shapiro was a result of typing into Google Ben Shapiro cool, and that was the first result that popped up there. So I think that fits everything from what I understand about Dustin, and his mix of capitals and non-capitals I think is good as well. All right, Dustin. Now you got 1.5 minutes to make your point.
You're such a son of a bitch. So, first of all, I think that Mike should create some art every show and then at the end explain it and, why he put in cool or whatever it is. Ben Shapiro cool or whatever. In my opinion, I'd give my opinion, but I'm not able to zero in on that one.
You just stole Mark's joke.
I always steal Mark's joke.
Yeah.
I'm the #1 thief of Mark's jokes.
I don't know if you even get it. I don't even know if you get it. I think you were just reading what Mark wrote.
Yeah. always. I
Okay.
barely know what we're talking about.
Continue.
The next thing I would say is, did you know that we're no longer living in the information age, but we're living in the augmented age? And so the fact that we have AI now able to help us augment our, beeswork, our busybody lawyer stuff. You know what I mean? It's like that stuff's exciting to me because it just reinforces my own knowledge and my own making up of the world around me, Mike. You know what I mean? Like
no,
money.
I'm
and
not
time.
understanding most of what you're saying right now. Maybe you could start
Give
over.
you a sick burn. I was trying to sick burn you there.
Okay.
I think it sort of fell apart.
Wait, one of your thoughts fell apart? Are you okay?
I was thinking too fast and forgot what I was thinking about.
Well, Dustin? What happens when everyone else's work is automated and they're freed up to focus on their creative dreams? Isn't that just more competition for you?
No, buddy. No. You see, that's what everyone thinks that I'm. I am not competitive when it comes to ideas. I'm like, oh yeah, let's and that up a notch to another sick idea. And then all of a sudden, we all driving Escalades, Adam. Escalades.
If everyone's
That's really
rich, then
bad
no
for the
one's
planet.
rich.
Electric Escalades. Electric Escalades.
We're going to invent electric escalade.
He said
Escalades.
Sexalade.
Electric Escalade.
Sexalade. Never mind. All right, I'd like to apologize for everything that was said on today's show. Shout outs to the East Coast and West Coast. That Mid Coast, what's up to all my homies and my Mikes and my Gettigans. And I'd like to say what's up to Mark Migula and Reverend Roar, all of our commenters. I'm just doing some quick roses and thorns. Welcome to Roses and Thorns, everyone. This is part of the show where we all sit back and we tell each other why they are wrong. And today we're going to start with
I changed the name of your album. I don't know what you think.
That's awesome.
Don't you know what I think? You sure you don't know?
What?
You know, I looked at my schedule and we haven't had a call together since May. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Dustin.
So this has been like visiting old homes. So
Ken, we're very glad to
excited
have
to
you
be
no
back.
matter how
Eric.
Dustin tries to spin this.
I'd say
And
this.
I also want to say we need to get D&D back and going. I've got another group now too, but I miss you guys.
Oh, awesome.
Oh, nice. Yeah, we need to get another group going. Yeah.
They were playing games, except without me.
Okay, let's just revisit this one last time. You might remember, Dustin, the last time we tried to play games with you, you kept saying, "This is hell, I'm in hell," for a long period of setup time. And then you just basically...
whispering it.
Yeah. You had no comprehension of what was going on. It was...
Well, it was very difficult during those days because it was a new computer and anyway. So
Roses and Thorns. We got it.
For
Wrap it
myself
up. Wrap it
for
up.
trying and trying. I give a rose to Mike for once again blowing minds, blowing doors, making art, explaining it. I give a rose to Adam for, I don't know, letting that hair get there. You know what I'm saying? Don't meet me there, beat me there with that hair. I'd like to say rose to Kent for, having one of the best names on the show. Let's face facts. And a thorn to me.
Yeah.
Personal thorn. I don't want to talk
That's a
about
good... I think that's pretty good.
it. Thank you.
I'm gonna go ahead and piggyback on Dustin's Roses and Thorns. I'm just gonna signal boost them. Roses to everybody, but a thorn to Dustin. I think that's pretty good. Rose to Jill for trying to make Dustin more comprehensible.
Thank you.
Palatable.
Palatable. Yeah.
Just
That's a good word.
humanity.
That's a good word for a word scramble.
Adam.
Yeah, I'll give a rose to Kent. He's still playing D&D. That's great.
Heck yeah.
Great.
I've had to take a little break from DMing just because of my health, but that's cool. I'll give myself a rose for then reintroducing him to D&D so that he would go out there and
Yes.
find another group. Also give myself a rose for enduring 3 days of military-esque torture in the hospital.
Yeah,
It was pretty terrible.
I wish we would have gotten to talk about that, but Dustin didn't really want to have it in the show.
He just wanted to like drop it in as little Easter eggs and nuggets.
It wasn't.
The
It
quick
was
roses and thorns on your hospital.
Well,
No, it's fine.
It was a story that didn't involve Dustin, so I guess that.
It's a good one, Ken.
What did you say, Kent? I couldn't hear you.
Version so that we can have that on the edit.
I just said, to be fair, Crohn's is a shitty thing to talk about.
And my hey.
That's I would have assumed Mark Mikula would have typed that in, but
well, I'll give you a very quick rundown of like
Okay.
the worst parts. Like give me the good parts where I'm super hydrated again, so I'm like my mobility's back, my energy's up, my BMs are a little more solid. But the downfalls is that I was in the ER for over 12 hours. And there was no really understanding of how everyone was separated. Like, it seemed like we were separated, but it was like, when you ask someone a question, they seemed to not know the answer, and it was very hectic, I guess.
Yeah.
And then from the ER, when I was just like in a hallway, I was put into an observation ward, which is just imagine like a hallway with like rooms on either side, but they aren't rooms, they're just like cubbies with curtains.
Yeah, I know it very well.
And then they don't turn the lights off ever. So like, and I was at the very end of the hallway, so it's just like a curtain with a mesh top, so I can just see this fluorescent light like blaring into my room 24 hours a day. And then they also play classical music on these speakers that are in your room 24 hours a day. And
That's
then
pretty. That sounds pretty.
And then every time a baby is born, they play the baby lullaby.
Right.
And like
What?
25 babies were born while I was there for 3 days.
That's a lot of babies.
Yeah, it was very much like, it was like, it reminded me of like the torture from the military, just like not letting people sleep, not letting them hear, like, always no silence.
Baby
Wow.
torture. You got baby tortured.
Yeah, it was one of my
Those
worst
were
experiences.
all Halloween babies. All
Yeah.
those babies.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of Halloween babies. That's nice, though. That's nice.
Isn't that called a Chucky?
Kent, let's wrap things up with your roses and thorns, and then we'll go to Dustin for our final thought and do our saying.
Roses to everyone here. Kudos to everyone, especially to Dustin's immaculate thought processes.
Dustin's dream.
That is the thing that pulls me back in every time.
Aww. Thanks, Kent.
All right. Dustin, final thought for today?
Frustration.
That's it. Great way to leave our audience with frustration. All right. Speaking of frustration, let's all say our thing together on 3. We're all going to say our phrase, which is, I want Dustin to get rich. Ready, everybody? 1, 2, 3. I want Dustin to get rich. Oh, it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
I'm getting that microphone.
That's it for today. Thank you, Kent. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll melt down with you next time.
Hey, if you guys like my TikTok, check out that new video I just released called Dustin's TikTok.
Don't use TikTok, please. Do not use TikTok.
No, I'm trying to help everybody because I feel like there's a lot of people that are like, I'm missing out on like the rest of Dustin. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Like they can't get enough Dustin?
Well, because you consolidated them all into a YouTube video, right?
I did, and I realized
The best is sending Dustin a message once on TikTok and then getting 78 messages in response.
I think maybe you're the problem with TikTok, Dustin. That might be why they had to ban it.
It's like teaching my 7-year-old like the appropriate pace of messaging,